looks like it's time. So let's go. There we go. Where's my scissors? Perfect. Hello, hello, hello. I'm doing more embroidery, so it's probably going to be a fairly laid back stream. We'll see how long we go for. Probably until I run out of tea. I've got a bit of this green. So let's maybe do some yellow. Kind of yellowish. I think maybe I'll do some on this side. Try and get some of a different color. Man, I thought that today was Friday for some reason. So I woke up and did like my normal social media stuff that I do on Fridays. And then I'm just like, oh, today's Saturday. I don't usually post to social media on Saturday. Oh well. That's fine. People get extra, what am I doing here? What did I do? I got it all caught up in the knot. Oh wow, it's really blown out. It's this dark green, I think. Maybe I should change the dark green to a lighter color. It really makes it difficult to see. What do I got? What do I got for a background? Let me just check here. Do I have blue? I was just using felt because it was easy. But let's see if I have some sort of beige or something. I mean, I have. What do I got? I don't necessarily want to use all of my good fabric. We might stick with the green. If it becomes too much of an issue, I'll go searching for something that's a little bit lighter so that it doesn't blow out the camera quite as much. Yikes. But yes, I for the past few of the embroidery streams, I've come prepared with like all sorts of like snacks and stuff. And this time I just have a mug of tea and a ginger beer and then like a whole bunch of like chips. I think they're actually supposed to be like crackers, but they just taste like corn chips. So you get to put up with all of my crunching noises. Sorry. But they're yummy. I really like just like plain corn chips. These ones I don't think are even corn. But I do like just plain corn chips. Might be a quiet night. See if anybody even shows up. That happens sometimes. Every once in a while it's just dead for some reason. It seems to be kind of random almost. It's hard to predict when there's gonna be no one that shows up. Sometimes you end up with like, 10 people. Sometimes I end up with 0. I do feel like I've been getting more people recently after reaching affiliate. So I don't know. I kind of wonder if Twitch like prioritizes like people who have affiliate on like the pages and stuff, the browsing pages. It wouldn't surprise me since they probably have, suddenly they can make money from me. I guess they probably make money from me before, but somehow, I'm not quite sure how, but it's more beneficial to them, I guess. Wow, I think it's maybe because this is so light and this is so dark. Would it be easier to see if I had a lighter background? I'm gonna do something interesting to hopefully make it so that this is a little bit more visible. Move my stuff. I'm going to switch my two colors around. And then we'll switch the... So I'm going to try putting the green over on this side and the beige over on this side. The beige is a little bit stained. I spilled tea on it at one point. Oops. But let's see if it works a little bit better with, you know, a little bit more beige, a little bit less green. Because I think it's the green that's messing with my color balance. Of course, now you can see part of my table. Perhaps I did not think this out the best. Well, we can deal with that. You can tell that I'm working in my resin space now, but oh well. Yeah, I think that's easier to see. I do think that I'll need to change the chat color. Let me just do that really quick. Change that to, like, I don't know, white or something. So I'm just gonna it works, I suppose. It's something at the very least. Oops, let me not click on everything. I'm a professional streamer, can't you tell? To be fair, I guess technically I am. You know, I guess that's a weird way to think about it. I guess technically, because I've made, you know, 20 cents in ad revenue or whatever, I'm technically getting paid to be here. Does that technically make me a professional? I think that's like technically what makes you a professional is whether you get paid for it or not. It has nothing to do with quality. It just means whether you're getting paid. It's not like I'm making a living doing this or anything. Like I said, I think I've made $5 or something from Twitch, which is, to be fair, is more than I expected to make. But there is something kind of funny about seeing, like, you've made 20 cents in ad revenue this month. It's just like, that is such an amusingly small amount of money. I mean, it adds up, sure, but it's just kind of funny making 20 cents in ad revenue. So what I am working on, if anybody's here, I have a bow tie. It's like the one I'm wearing now. But I have a bow tie here, and I actually have a vest that matches it, you know, like this one, like a waistcoat. And I haven't really worn this all that much because, like, the edges kind of, you know, puff up a little bit. I probably could iron it and stuff, but I don't know, it just never really fit right to a certain extent. Like, the fabric just didn't quite sit right. To be fair, I'm bunching it up now with this embroidery. So I decided that I want to, like, make it look like there's moss growing on it, because I feel like that'd be really cool. I kind of want to make some, like, little mushrooms to add to the waistcoat and stuff, too. But I wanted to make it look like there's moss, like, kind of growing on it. Like, maybe I haven't moved in a long while or something. The earth has started to overtake me. Because I just feel like that looked really cool. But it's gonna definitely, you know, definitely takes time. Definitely takes time. But it's kind of nice to have just a project for me. I was talking about that with a friend yesterday. Talking about that with a friend yesterday. About how I should, you know, I need some projects that are, you know, just something fun for me to do instead of work. Because I do enjoy, you know, making dice and all that. But at this point, it is also, it's work. And I've been very bad about working on my days off. Like, I gave myself 2 days off a week, and I still end up working on those days, which is probably not the best thing to be doing. Like, to a certain extent, part of that's just coming with being self-employed and working from home to a certain extent. because, you know, if someone emails me on a Thursday asking about, you know, commission prices or something, I don't know, it feels like I should probably message them back as soon as possible, because it's just me, and Thursday's not necessarily when people would expect, you know, my weekend to be. I set my weekends as Thursday and Sunday, which is amusingly like the days after I stream, which was not, you know, purposeful or anything. I don't know. It just kind of ended up that way. I think maybe it's because I kind of start winding down a little bit on Wednesdays and Saturdays. And so I had like a little bit of kind of like some time. And it's just kind of a nice way to kind of ease into having a day off. Also, if we stay up late, I don't feel nearly as bad sleeping in. I don't feel too bad sleeping in anyways, but you know, if I stay up, I don't have to get up to do social media or anything. I do have like a social media schedule, sort of. I was saying at the beginning of this video that I completely did it wrong today because I thought it was Friday for some reason. Usually I post on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And so I got up this morning, and before looking at my calendar, went and posted, because that's what I usually do on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So people got, you know, an extra photos of dice this morning, I guess. Which is fine. I really like French knots for making moss. I feel like it's a good kind of look. Let me do this one and I'll hold it up to the camera so people can see. And I'll show you kind of what we've done so far. So I'm just making a whole bunch of little tiny, see if it focuses. There we go, a whole bunch of little tiny knots. But from like far away, you know, kind of gives it that sort of spotty look. I'm adding, you know, some yellow here. I want to add some different colors and textures. Maybe add some more, like we have on this corner here, add some beads and some wool roving? Yeah. Which is, it's just kind of, I just have some like kind of raw wool, do a little bit of felting. Oh, that's what I forgot to pull out. Let me pull out my felting stuff. Maybe we'll add some more kind of like moss like that. I guess I could leave this out. I put it away because my cat likes to try and steal my wool. Also because it was in the way. But my cat likes to try and steal all my wool. But they're not really allowed in here anyways, so I guess it wouldn't be a big deal if I left it out. But I have this wool that has kind of like a curly texture to it. And so, it's kind of hard to see, but a curly texture to it. And so if I can kind of bunch it together a little bit, do a little bit of felting to kind of make it stick together even more. And that's kind of what we have, you know, here is some of that wool. Because I feel like that's a good kind of mossy texture as well, and it's a little bit different than the French knots, which is kind of, you know, what I was going for, something a little bit different. Maybe I'll add some here. My only concern is that, so the way that the bow tie is going to end up, you know, you have your thing tied around here, and then this is folded over. So I guess my only concern is that it'd be so thick that it wouldn't fold over correctly. But I think I might do it anyways. I think maybe I need to go over to the side a little bit more anyways, so maybe just kind of there almost. I think that'll be kind of a nice contrast to this. That might be good. Let me add a little bit more of this yellow. Let me maybe add a little bit on the other side as well. And then which side do I want that on? I feel like this is kind of the front, but maybe we'll add it to this side. That way, whichever way I tie it, it'll end up looking good. But I think I might add a little bit of this yellow on the other side, maybe. So I'm just going to go straight through this time. And I just want to make sure that I'm holding onto this, because if I don't, it gets caught. Kind of like that. There we go. it'll kind of knot itself before I want it to. So let's add a little bit on this side, just because I'm not very neat when it comes to my embroidery, so it's kind of poked through a little bit on this side anyways. So I might as well pretend I meant to do that. That's I guess that's the story of my life. Pretending I meant to do that. I guess maybe that's all most people are doing. We're all just walking around in the world pretending we meant to do that. We're like a cat that just fell off a couch. Just like, did anyone see that? Oh man, we didn't have good enough tension on there. Just a minute. Just a second. See, I didn't have appropriate tension on there, and now it's all knotted funky. There we go. That's better. I should maybe, this is completely unrelated to like anything, but maybe I should start watching more streams. I said before, I don't usually watch a ton of like streams. I usually watch more YouTube videos, and part of that's just because I like to be able to like pause things. I'm bad at having an attention span, so I like being able to pause things and come back to them later. Especially, you know, if I'm working on something, because like I'm not usually sitting in one place for an extended period of time, because I'm usually running, like, you know, with the stuff that I'm doing, you know, maybe I'm packing orders or something and it's in my office, but usually still then I'm running around and grabbing the different things that I need to like pack the order, you know, run into the kitchen to grab a cup of tea. So I don't know, streams is always just like, I'm gonna miss something. But I don't know, maybe I should watch more streams. I do kind of want to make YouTube videos though too. Well, just, you know, to go, since those are what I watch. But I'm still debating on whether I want to do arts and crafts ones or just try and do something like completely different. Just, you know, use it as an excuse to do some fun projects. Probably arts and crafts videos would be good, but I have to figure out filming for that. Because, like, to be honest, I don't play a lot of video games, but it's a lot easier to make a video of playing video games than it is to make a video of doing arts and crafts. And part of that is just the setup required, because if you're playing video games, you know, you don't even necessarily need a camera. You can just screen record. Whereas with arts and crafts, I need to figure out angles and how I'm going to set up a camera and what sort of camera I'm going to use and all that sort of stuff. I suppose I could use my phone. I had a friend suggest that I do like TikToks. There's a big like resin community on TikTok, which, you know, that's not a bad idea. I just figure I already have a bunch of social media that I'm trying to stay on top of. Oh, speaking of, Jen's not here yet, but she's the one that wanted this. Oops, but I did set up this. Ooh, why is my phone buzzing? Oh, my family's text chain. I did set up this. I literally just set it up earlier today. There's nothing there yet, but I did finally set up a Discord. I don't use Discord a ton necessarily unless I'm like, you know, playing games with friends and I want to voice chat with them, or, you know, I have a weekly Discord chat with another friend for like arts and crafts stuff. But, you know, maybe this will force me to start using Discord more. If there ends up being people that want to hang out there. Oops. But I'm also looking for like ideas for it too, like what sort of you know, chat, what are they called in Discord, threads? What do you call the different channels? Different channels or anything like that. I should maybe look at some of the Discords that I'm in and go look at like the rules and stuff too. Just be like, what do people have set up? But yes, it's really not all that set up yet. So don't, if you do end up there, don't judge it too harshly. I am hoping that Jen shows up though so that I could show her. She's the one that requested it. Alright. I didn't have the tension right again and ended up with a giant knot, which is not what I want. It's not what I want. It's not what I want. Hey. See if I can get it untied though. How is this all tied? Alright, I think I see the threads. There we go. These are all tangled up. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I'm just old. Maybe that's why I don't understand Discord. Well, it seems like the Yules are all hanging out in Discords these days. It is kind of interesting because I've, you know, kind of popped into like various like fandom Discords and stuff before, and usually people will like in their like introduction they'll say like what age they are. I'm just like, why are all of these people younger, so much younger than me? Every once in a while, you know, there's like someone who's, you know, older than me and stuff too. But you know, sometimes it's just like, where how did this happen? Like, cause you know, I hung out with a whole bunch of people in the fandom sphere when I was at university. So it seems weird to me that there's new people, I guess, in the same sort of spheres. I'm really just making a mess of this, aren't I? It's just this one knot in the side here that I have completely gotten all tangled. I'm just trying to get my needle in here so I can loosen it up, hopefully. Kind of get it between some of these fibers. Give it a little bit of wiggle room. But I have to try and get it in the right spot so that I'm not getting it in between the wrong fibers. Which is easier said than done. I don't even quite know what I've done here. I'm also worried that I'm going to stab myself. So that seems like something that is bound to happen at some point. Well, let's see if this works. If all else fails, I can, I don't know, cut the thread, leave it wonky. It's moss, right? It's supposed to be a little bit wonky. What have I got going on here? Okay. But let's see if we can get this to come undone. On the top, it's like, as I was saying about like YouTube videos or something though, like, I know they're very popular right now and it's not an original idea at all, but like my brother and I have been talking about trying to set up some sort of like Minecraft server, so you know, could just like film that sort of thing, which would be easier. I did finally get Minecraft late to the party. He's had it for years though. And I've been having fun playing that. So, you know, there's options for stuff like that. This is just a mess. How does does this look if I just, we're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it as a little loop. It's moss. Maybe we'll add a few more little loops. Maybe we'll add a few more little loops. It's fine. Or we could, I could probably tack this one down now that I'm thinking about it. Let's go back that direction. I think I could just tap, or there's enough thread and stuff here that it's getting kind of thick. Just a second here. There we go. Finally got the needle to go through in the right spot. And this time I will hold this properly. I mean, I'm probably not holding it properly, but I'll hold it with, you know, tension. Actually, I'll just get my finger caught. I'm not an embroidery person. I grew up with my mom doing a lot of embroidery. That was kind of her go-to thing. Like, you know, you know, while she was waiting to like pick us up from school and stuff, she'd have like her embroidery. And do that in like the car or wherever, you know, depended on the school. But, well, you know, while she waited, so, you know, or, you know, in the lobby of various places, she did a lot of embroidery while I was growing up. There we go, I think that's fine. We just tacked it down. It'll get lost in all of the moss. It's all uneven and everything anyways, which is kind of the point, so it's fine. It's fine. Perfectly fine. I did just realize that me saying fine sounded an awful lot like fun. So maybe it's both fun and fine. Let's see if I can get this in here. There we go. Do I want to use this thread to try and tack down some of this felt? Well, it's not felt yet, it's just wool at the moment. But maybe. I think I have it closer to where I'm going to tack it down. So let's get this ready to go. So I'm going to take a little bit of this wool. I'm going to kind of make it so it's stuck to itself a little bit more. And to do that, we're going to use some felting materials. Well, actually, we're going to do that by taking a sip of tea first, but then we're going to do it through felting materials. And I'll show you how felting needles work. So felting, you're taking like wool and you're like stabbing it a whole bunch of times, and then it becomes more and more solid. The reason that works, let's see if I can get it so that you can see. There's these very, very sharp needles, yes, that have all these barbs on the sides. You can see all those little barbs on the side of the needle. And those like catch all of the little fibers of the wool and like pull them together. So, you know, it wouldn't work if I just used my sewing needle and stabbed it a whole bunch of times. You need the needles with the little tiny barbs on the sides to catch all of the different fibers and work them together. I'm going to grab these little finger protectors because I don't trust myself, and this is very sharp. Very, very sharp. Although let's get this kind of in the shape that I want. Like my username might be Human Disaster, but I'd still rather not have any disasters if at all possible. So let's not stab ourselves with a felting needle. That would be preferable. Okay, I think that's. We're gonna do that as kind of a shape, and try and work some of this together a little bit. Like I said, just stab it a whole bunch, and it helps get all of the fibers together. I do want to keep, you know, kind of the curly texture that this particular wool has. So I'm going to try and, you know, not necessarily attach all of it too much, but I do want to. at least get it so it's a solid piece, because it's kind of a bunch of disparate pieces at the moment. There we go. That finally attached together. Kind of shove this over here a little bit. I haven't really used the needle felting stuff for anything too complex now that I'm thinking about it. Might be fun to try and do some more, like, do some actual needle felting and stuff. That'd be cool. I think, should I put this in here maybe? No, I like it like that. I'm not putting that on. I can't hold it. I'm just going to, you know, hopefully avoid my finger, if at all possible. I'm just trying to get everything to stick together. Okay, nope, these are going back on. I don't trust myself. I don't trust myself not to stab myself on accident. Alright, that's a little bit better. But I just want, you know, I want all the texture to stay there, but I also don't want any pieces falling off. I don't expect this to be like the you know, toughest, you know, well, I don't know what, well, I guess embroidery and piece of clothing, like it's not going to go through the washing machine or anything. But I don't want it just, you know, falling off randomly. I want it to be solid enough that I can actually tack it on. So for that, I need it to be kind of all one piece to a certain extent. I'll flip this over, look at the back a little bit, kind of try and get some of, there's like one piece here that it has great texture, but I worry that it's a little bit separated, so we're just going to kind of do that from the side here and see if we can get that attached a little bit more. There we go. I'm liking this. I feel like that's pretty good. Let me, I think that's good. I think that's good. We're gonna call that good. I'm gonna tack it onto the thing. Put this needle away before I do anything dangerous. Oops, I forgot to put these back in. That's what I'm forgetting. Can't forget that. I do really like this wool though for moss. It's very mossy. I think I got that originally for some moss themed stuff. Oh, I should pull that out. I had a sort of dress thing that I was putting together. A friend was having like a, was it Midsummer's Eve or something party, and it's pretty much the first piece of clothing that I ever actually made. But I went and made something for that. That was the original intention was to cover it all the way in moss, and I never really got around to finishing it, but alright, so we're just going to try and, oops, I don't need that there anymore. I have all my stuff stacked all over the place here. Alright, let's see. just trying to kind of attach this. Just gonna go up and back down. I might then go around the sides a little bit. We'll see. Just gonna pull that down. Because, you know, it's sticking up a little bit. I might then go around the sides and do it even more. But I want to just, you know, get it attached first so it's a little bit easier for me to work with, so I don't have to try and hold it in this correct spot while also tacking it down completely. Okay. What is today? I mean, it's Saturday. It really does seem kind of random when things are kind of quiet. Kind of quiet on Twitch. Maybe someone else is streaming right now. Maybe that's... Or maybe people are just having a night off and doing something else. Which is A-okay too. Yeah. Nope, I don't want to go all the way through the fabric. I just want to go through the one layer. There we go, that's better. There we go. Alright. Go through all of that. And so there, now it's attached, but then I'm going to go around again and kind of get the sides down a little bit more. But I do at least have it kind of where I want it now so that, you know, when I have the bow tie folded over, it'll be all mossy. But I do want to make sure that it stays on. So that's the next important part here. I'm going to kind of sew things down around the edges a little bit more. Hopefully that's not too far out. Nope, looks like it's fine. I don't really want these stitches showing too much. Like, the color is, you know, not bad. I'm not using anything that's going to be too obvious, but, you know, I want things to, I want it to just look like the moss and not like random stitches somewhere. I can always, you know, add a French knot or something. But let's, you know, get things as situated as possible. Alright. I'm still just kind of going around the outside here. It's still kind of hard to see. I think this dark green is still a little too dark. I don't know, is it the dark green that's causing issues? Might be the dark green that's causing issues. This is, you know, shiny and fairly light colored. I'll think about that once I run out of this thread. Alright, there's this. Now I'm getting close to running out of this thread. And then we'll move on to something else. I mean, still, you know, working on moss and all that, but probably some different color or something. Maybe some beads. That'd be nice. Want some beads. here. So I want to make sure that this big lump here is actually attached. And then I'm going to come out here and do another, just do a French knot to tie things off, I think. There we go. And see, now the edges are staying down quite a bit better. This one's still kind of lumpy, but it's just kind of, it was kind of lumpy. I kind of left it that way. I don't know that I have enough to make a French knot. Actually, I might just tie a knot in here. I'm gonna kind of hide it a little bit under here though. And we actually have quite a bit of thread left, which is gonna make this a lot easier. So I'm just gonna do this and tie a knot and hide it underneath the wool. And then that. And just cut this off. Excellent. So before we move on, I just want to kind of see how this is looking. See how I can talk. So it definitely has a lot more on this side than it does on this side at the moment, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it's looking just kind of unbalanced at the moment. And I want it to be a little bit more balanced. Have it, you know, I don't want it looking lopsided or anything. So I'm thinking maybe we should do some beads over here because we haven't done any of that yet. Probably some more French knots. Definitely like this side especially, you know. There's not, doesn't look like there's, let me get this so you can see. You know, it doesn't necessarily look like there's an even, like, this looks like so little, which again, you know, moss isn't always even. But still, it might be good to have a little bit more over here. Or maybe just add a little tiny bit on the actual kind of corner here. That might help a little bit. I might add just a little bit of something along the edge here. Kind of tie it together. I think that might be nice. So let's see what beads I have. I have all sorts of stuff just stacked to the side here. And it's kind of a mess. It's kind of all stacked right next to a bunch of my resin stuff, because I'm working in my resin space, just because it's kind of where I have things set up. I really should clean up. I think I'm gonna rearrange some things in my resin space. I'm realizing that I'm not really putting things away, and it reminds me of this thing I was reading about how. When was I reading that? Oh, that was actually a Marie Kondo thing, I think, where you should put things space, like where you store them and stuff, should be where it is easiest to put them away and not where it's easiest to get them from. Which makes perfect sense in my brain, because if I can't put something away super easily, it's just not going to end up going away. So if I move, like, I have a rack of like glitter and all that sort of stuff off to the side here, but it's so far out of reach. If I just move it so it's like right here, rearrange some things, make it so it's right here, then I'd just put things away. Because it'd be right within reach. It'd be so much easier to grab things. Alright, this is maybe the wrong needle for this, because I think the other one is thinner. Let's see what beads we have though. Is this what I was using before? Is that what I was using before? No, I think this is what I was using before. I've had these beads for a long time. But I think these right here may be what I was using here. They're similar though. I don't know if these ones might actually, I don't know, let's see if we can use those. And if not, that's fine. I'll go to the other ones. They look very, very similar. But let's see if these will even fit on the needle here. Ooh, ow. It might not, but let's see. Oh, we're fine. We're golden. Those fit on there just fine. All right, let me get this started. And I was saying I think maybe up on the corner a little bit, but maybe I should do it down on this corner. See, this is what I'm saying. I really should have ironed this and gotten everything flat. I really should have ironed this. I guess maybe part of the reason I didn't is because that's so uneven. Maybe I want it tucked under like that. And that seems, oh, well, that's attached now. Do I want to just tuck it under how it was, or should I actually pull it out? It looks so much more uneven when it's pulled out like that compared to tucked under like that. But there's so much extra fabric here. I feel kind of bad almost. This is my own fault for not ironing. But see, that's so much wider than that, I think. I might just make it a little, I think I might leave it tucked under like this and sew it down like that, which seems kind of silly. Actually, here, I'll start under here. Perfect. Alright. We're going to do a whole bunch more French knots too. I don't want just the beads. You know, I want some varying textures all next to each other. That's kind of, I feel like, what makes it kind of fun. Just doing all the different textures all mixed together. I think adding some, you know, different colors and stuff too really helps. You know, there's a little bit of like some yellows and some oranges and some pinks. I like these and these. These ones I think are a little bit darker, but they have like all sorts of other colors. Hi, Jen. Drive safe. But they have all sorts of different colors in them, which, you know, they kind of look like an oil slick a little bit, but I feel like, you know, it kind of gives it almost like a wet look, in like a good way. Like, you know, moss is kind of damp usually, has kind of a, you know, moss doesn't usually grow where it's super dry. So I feel like that adds to the effect a little bit. Giving it that little added sort of shininess to it. Alright, we're gonna add more French knots, because I do want it to be mostly French knots, I think. It'll look a little weird if it's mostly beads. So it's a balance of textures and colors. Ooh, no. Alright, we're good. Alrighty. And we're gonna go towards the edge. Like I said, I'm gonna, I think, kind of sew the edge together a little bit, because it's honestly, like I said, it's folded over quite a bit here. Here's what I mean by it's folded over. Like, there's quite a bit more fabric I could pull out, but I think honestly it's more even this way with the size. I think this is a little bit more even than if I pulled it out. So we're just gonna leave it like that. We're gonna leave it folded over, and I'm gonna attach it together so that it stays that way. And actually, yeah, I'm just gonna sew all the way through. And we'll do, you know, something on the other side too. We're just going to kind of tack this closed. This is kind of, what I was saying before, this is kind of what my issue was with this bow tie and vest to begin with. Is it was, even after like ironing it and stuff, it got like super sort of puffy around the seams. It just never kind of sat right. I think part of it's just the fabric, but it, you know, tacking down the edges like this is kind of where I got the idea originally to add moss. It's because I wanted to do something that kind of held it down a little bit. And I'm not a seamstress or embroiderer, or what do you call someone who does embroidery? Because like seamstress is sewing, which is like a separate thing, I think. It's more about like fabric construction, when this is like embellishment. I'm not quite sure. You know, I'm not positive on the differentiation between these things. Let's tack this together again. Either way, I'm not usually, I don't do a lot of fiber arts, I guess, in general. I do painting and resin, and I don't know, I don't do a lot of fiber arts. You know, some of them interest me for sure. Like, I do want to get into like I'd love to do more like clothing making type stuff, because, you know, obviously I like having a slightly weird style, so it'd be cool if I could make my own clothes. I do actually have a book on pattern making, which seems to, you know, it's very cool, but also that'd be fun for cosplay and stuff too. But let's see, you know, that, and I have the stuff for felting here, which might be fun to, you know, mess around with some more. Maybe we'll try that on a stream at some point, messing around with the felting stuff. Try doing some sort of picture or something. I have some flat sheets of felt. We could always try and do some sort of image onto that, or we could do some sort of 3D thing. I don't know, try to recreate one of my cats or something. I could try to recreate one of my cats out of cat hair. There we go, there's the plan. I do actually, this might seem gross, I do actually have a bag of cat hair over there with my felting stuff. Because that was I kind of had that idea at one point. Like, yeah, that probably sounds a little bit weird, but I think it's from Koshi, but I don't remember. My cats were so cute earlier today. Fitz and Koshi were all snuggled up in the cat bed together. Oh, come on. Alright. Oops. Oh, that went fine. Let me see if I can find that photo. I should have it readily available. Let me find a good one. Here they are. Here they are, all cuddled up together in the cat bed. If it'll focus. There we go. Look at them. They have their little faces together, and they're all both sleeping. They were very cute. I think I might have one from a slightly different angle that shows just how smushed together they are too. Yeah, you can see how smushed together they are from this angle. Look at them. They're so cute. Don't worry, Jen. I can show you again once you actually get home and are not driving. But they were very cute. They were doing that the other night too. It was very sweet. I came down here. What was that, yesterday or was it the day before? I can't remember. Oh, hey, that reminds me. I have stuff in the pressure pot right now that we could totally take out and unmold. Forgot about that. There's not really anything too exciting in there, to be fair. It's mostly just some commission repours. See how those turned out. Which ones did I do? I have to try and remember. Oh, it's nothing new, really. It's the glow-in-the-dark purple and copper ones, and a set of, like, a continuation of some D6s. It should be the last few of the D6s that I need to do. Because I kind of did it in batches because I didn't really have, you know, quite enough molds for it. I have like multiple like molds that have multiple D6s in it for my pipped ones, the ones that have dots on the sides. But for the ones that have numbers on the sides, I kind of just have those in the 7-piece D&D dice sets. So I was just kind of stealing those. I'm finally, you know, getting rid of some of my molds as well. Some of them are starting to wear out. They've been holding up well. I kind of, at this point, I've been doing like a new set of molds every other week. Part of that, it's not necessarily because I need, you know, that many molds all that quickly, but it's because I got a lot of silicone because it was, I mean, it wasn't cheap, but it was cheaper than me buying the trial sizes, and that stuff has a shelf life to it, so it'll hold up much better as molds than it will as silicone or as the two parts. So I want to get that used. Also, it's just, you know, it never hurts to have more molds. It's always useful. Means I can have more things going at once. And that's always a good thing to have available as an option. Be able to make more things at a time. I feel like that's kind of my holdup at the moment, to a certain extent, is just getting things made. Because I've been like restocking my shop the first Friday of every month, so that's coming up this Friday. But also just creating enough things, I guess, to restock. Because I'd like to get more sets done in a month, but I only have like, you know, I only have like 12 sets probably that'll be going into the shop. It's like, I wish I could get more done. Part of it's just, you know, figuring out a schedule. I did also have some equipment that had some issues, and so I had to take off I took off sanding for a day or two, which, you know, that held things up. Sanding is what takes the most time. I actually have a backlog of things to sand now, though, which is kind of good, I guess. At a certain point, I was, you know, kind of getting everything sanded that I was making. I've been doing so many commissions recently, though, that those have taken a priority. So I haven't done as many, you know, gotten as many other things kind of finished and stuff. I should actually figure out how many commissions I do a month. I've been like kind of estimating when I'm figuring out. I guess I actually have, you know, some months and stuff to estimate now. You know, I've been kind of estimating when I'm trying to figure out how much do I plan to like sell and stuff. I've just been kind of estimating as far as commissions go, but I could probably actually get a much better estimate now. I'm gonna go hide this under these here so that we can tie it off. If I can get it to the right spot. There we go. That's where I want it. Alright. But what was I saying? Oh yeah, should we maybe pull some things out of the pressure pot? See how those look? Take a very short break from embroidery. Again, it's nothing too exciting. Flip that over. Nothing too exciting. Let me see how this is looking. Here, I'll show you this first. So I'm probably gonna add a little bit more, but I just added, you know, some beads kind of around the corner here. I'm very bad at not bunching up the fabric, it seems, but that's okay. I think actually I'm a little bit far over. I think I need to actually do more kind of this direction a little bit more so that it kind of overlaps the two. See, like, I think this is actually not in a bad spot. We could test this, to be fair. Let me take my jacket off a moment. We can test this. Let's try putting this bow tie on and see where it sits. I do have to remember which side is going to end up on top. Just a moment, let me think about this. I might be doing this backwards. We'll find out in a moment. Yeah, we're doing this backwards, just a moment. We want this side over here, because this is the one that's going to get pushed behind, because you go through and kind of throw that one off to the side for a minute, and then you just put this up here. Yes, you don't even see that. I think, give me just a moment here, I'm going to flip this around. Let me flip this around. I'm just trying to think of how to get this side on the outside, just so we can kind of see where things are placed. I've gotten it wrong every time now. Here, right here. Let me switch over to just me. You can watch me tie a bow tie. I'm not going to look at the screen because it's easier for me if I'm not looking at it. Alright, so let's see here. So, it's not most even, but it works. Let's put that down so we can see the bow tie. So you can see, oops, it's not mirrored. You can see the moss on over here. It's looking good on the corners. This is just looking a little bit sparse at the moment, but I think I was definitely right that kind of where this green piece of wool is actually where the edge is. So I'm gonna want to bring some stuff over to the edge a little bit more, so it's not just kind of floating in the middle. Although I don't mind the like this kind of thing floating in the middle, but I do want to add some more along the edge, because I feel like that's kind of where things would grow a little bit, kind of grow along the edge and then work its way in. So we're gonna do that. Let me reattach my other bow tie here. Yeah, see, this one's much easier to tie. It's this fabric, I think. It's kind of just a very thick fabric, and it makes it a little bit hard to like move, I guess. Yeah, at this point, it's almost easier for me to tie a bow tie by feel than it is looking in a mirror. All right. Back to what we were doing. I'm gonna put my jacket back on. It's kind of chilly down here. Alright. So we're gonna want to do more along where this green part is. And so maybe we'll pull some of this. We're gonna maybe extend these things over a little bit. That's, I think, which green is, oops, if I open the correct side. Was that this green that I was using? I think it was this green that I was using. Before we do that though, let's pull some stuff out of the pressure pot, just because that's fun. I am going to mute myself for just a moment because it gets loud when I open the pressure pot. So give me just a second here, and then I'm going to pull stuff out. I would assume, yeah, it's 8. Yep, give me just a second here. You can hear that hissing over there. It was much louder when I first opened that. Alright, let's see what we got. let that finish expelling air. And I'll eat a chip. All right. Let's see how things look. Let's unmold some stuff. My only real concern is that, this set that is purple and copper, my only real concern here is, well, I have a couple, I guess, but I did this when to try and get the two colors to stay separate, I waited for the resin to set up a whole bunch until it was very, very thick. That might be better. I think that might actually be better. I'll show you the first two attempts. I'll show you on the. I'll just show you on the D20, I guess. Where's the other D20? Here's my box of things that still needs to be sanded. Here we go. All right, so the first attempt, I did it when it was thick. It kind of just ended up half copper and half purple. And we kind of wanted like uneven layers, so that wasn't really what we were going for. And then the next one, we were going for kind of uneven layers, but they kind of mixed a little bit because I did it when it was just a little bit too runny. Like we kind of got the uneven layers and stuff on the sides here, but it kind of got mixed a bit on the top. And so I was trying to do it where it was, thicker, so we would get the separation of the colors, but also in like more uneven layers. I think, fam, we got it. I think we got those uneven layers of purple. So that's exciting. Let's unmold the rest of these and make sure that they're all like this. All right, that's D20 down. I have these sorted off to the side here so that I can grab the ones that I need easily. I guess the other concern, so like I was saying, to get the colors to stay separated, I poured it when it was very, very thick, and that could make it so that there's more air bubbles and stuff in there. Yeah, I think that's good. I guess actually, to be fair, my big concern with this was that I might have actually had a little bit too much mixing at the top, but I don't think it's an issue. It doesn't seem to be an issue. I think that this is good. Throw my random resin scraps off to the side here. I do realize that resin is not why people came to this stream, but that's okay. You get other random arts and crafts. You come to my streams, I guess. This is just a little like bonus die that I'll add to my box of random dice. D10 up. Here's one of the D6s. Excellent. Looks like it turned out good. So I just need these last 4. Although I did realize that I missed part on one set of these that I did. So the order was for 12. And so I was doing them in batches of 4. So, 3 sets of 4. Because 3 times 4 is 12. I could do that math. But I did realize that on one of the sets I forgot to actually put the gold and the silver into the mold, because I brushed the mold with some gold and silver foil first before pouring the resin. I forgot to do that on one of the sets. It's not super noticeable, but I might redo that set just because I feel a little bit bad. A little bit bad that it doesn't technically match the other ones. This is a little bit thick. That's okay. but it will be good to have these all done. Like I said, I've been doing a lot of commissions lately. But I really should actually, like, I have a, here's a behind the scenes thing, I guess. I have a Word document, and in that Word document I have every single commission that I am working on and that I have worked on. And it's literally a Word document, and each page has, like, you know, who it's for, either, you know, a username from social media where they've contacted me, and or their name on Etsy. And then it has like all of the initial information of like what the prompt is, like, you know, this, you know, here's what they said that they want, and then I'll make notes of, you know, we talked about doing a certain style or something like that. So all of the kind of information. And then depending on the set of dice, you know, there might be like some planning on there. I might get some initial, you know, some additional information and add that as well. And then once I've completed the set, I, this one ended up maybe a little bit mixed. I take photos of all of the sets that I make, and then I put photos of the completed set at the bottom of that page. So get 10 down. So I have like I should maybe keep track of the dates and stuff that I guess I can look on Etsy. That's about what I expected with these. That's okay. This was an experiment set. There is actually an experimental set here. And that was, I ground up a whole bunch of resin scraps and then put those in a mold, and they look pretty cool. Let's see if I can get it so you can see. I might need to. So, you know, it does kind of a cool model effect. I had a lot of trouble though with air gaps, and I think part of that I can change next time, but it does mean that I ended up with big voids. I did try to fix that, but it didn't really work, which that's okay. D6 down. This is a mistake. Okay. We'll see if any of them turned out, because they all had big voids that I tried to fix. So, you know, maybe one of them, or one or two of them, maybe they actually fixed, but I kind of doubt it. Kind of doubt that they ended up fixed. That's okay though. They were just kind of a test. Plus, I have a box of failed dice that maybe at some point I'll turn those into like jewelry or something. You know, I have kind of ideas for that. I should actually, you know, work on that though, I suppose. I have a few things where it's just like, I should work on that. I have some ideas for things, but I just haven't gotten around to actually executing it. I've been so kind of focused on like actual dice, I guess. I haven't really started working on some other things that I could make, like for my shop. Obviously, I'm, you know, doing some embroidery for me at the moment, which is good. It's good to do something that's just for fun. But I do also, you know, use like Twitch as an excuse for, oh no, I gotta go do arts and crafts now. You know, I totally use this as an excuse to work on projects that I want to work on. Otherwise, I probably would not be like I probably wouldn't have started working on this embroidery project if I didn't have the excuse of, oh, I should work on some sort of arts and crafts for Twitch on Saturday. Do something that's not resin. And I'm like, I'll work on this one that is fun for me. This might be the way to go. So we'll check on the other ones, but like the one that had a big void, I also had some extra of that purple at one point, and I threw it into the bottom of a mold, and then I threw like this dark blue black on top of it. So maybe I'll do something like that where it's part ground up resin like that, and then part like a solid color. I actually kind of like it with like the dark blue. just kind of poking out of it. Oh, this one might have actually worked. Let's pull out this D12. It looks like I might have actually gotten the void filled in on the D12. Why is this so brittle? Seems weird. Did I have my parts off or something? Let's see on this D12. This one seems like it might be okay. It obviously needs some cleaning up. Oops, I totally just chipped the face. That's okay. That is okay. I can deal with that. It's not full set anyways. But I do think this one, you can't really see the color all that well. There's a lot more color variation in person. Like, it is mostly purple, but there's, you know, some pink and some blue and stuff in there. That one turned out okay. Alright, let me see, that's D12 down. Yep, see the D20 ended up with a little bit of a void. It's small enough. Do I want to try and fill that in? Yeah, the void in the D20 I might be able to... Do I want to try and fill this in? It's large enough that I'd want to keep it in the mold to do it. Let me show you. Let me show you the little void here. So, if you look, there you go, you can see that void there. Debating whether I want to try and fix that. I might as well. We'll leave this one in the mold. I'll put it over here with the other things that I need to add some resin to. I have a couple of keychains that I need to actually attach, like the ring part to, so it'll attach to a keychain. Just sitting over here. I'll put this with it so that I remember to just add a little bit of resin to that. Here's like an example. This is just a random dump mold. Here, I'll pull this out. So this is a crystal mold that I just kind of used as a dump mold. So when I had a little bit of extra resin, I just kind of threw it in here. And you can tell that I did it through like at least 3 different sittings, since there's 3 different layers there. Now I'll just go over here with some of my other ones. I have quite a few random crystals over here that I should turn into something. Yeah, see this one looks like it's not usable either. Ooh. I do wonder why that seems so brittle. It might just mean me. I don't know. I might be completely wrong. Alright. That was a D8 down. Yes. So, you know, I have I've written on top of these with like silver Sharpie. You know, you can see there it says D0 or D0 down. Is it, you know, D10? I have one that says D0 and I have one that says D00. So I can keep the 2 kinds of D10s separate. Which is why I said D0. Just in case people were like, what? Why are you saying D0? It's a D10. I have them separated by the number of zeros because there's 2 kinds of D10s. But yeah, I have them labeled on top with a silver Sharpie. The problem is that when I like stack them on top of each other, or if I'm handling them a whole bunch with my sticky resin fingers, it pulls off all of the Sharpie. So you end up with, you know, here's a D8 down. I guess you can still kind of read it. And then you end up with, here's a D00 down. Can't you tell? Can't you tell that's a D00 down? Oh, yeah. So I'm like, I have to like actually look at these and be like, which one is this? Put it in the right stack. This one's actually labeled though. Ah, excellent. Another one of these. yeah, I think these turned out. So the reason that I was worried that they might have mixed a little bit is that, like I was saying, I had to wait until it was a little bit thicker to pour this one so that I could actually get the layers, the defined layers like I wanted. But I did start a little bit kind of early. And the reason for that was that by the time I was done, it was very, very thick. So I needed to add it. Oh, actually, this one might not even need any. Sweet, this one might not even need any like major sanding or anything. I probably just threw that in the tumbler. That one turned out good. So, you know, I started it a little bit before it was super, super thick, just so that I had enough work time. And by the time I got to the end, you know, I had very distinct layers because it was very thick, but also it was very thick, which means it was, you know, setting up. And you don't have a super long work time once that starts happening. But I think things turned out. I think things actually turned out, which is good. I'll take photos of those and send them over to the person that commissioned them. You know, double check with them. But I think those are looking pretty good. Ooh, that's a weird bonus die. This one might go in my... So this one was, I had clear yellow and then glow-in-the-dark purple, and so it's very, very kind of brownish. That one's probably going to go down in the bonus dice instead of sending it off with anything. We're almost done. I do still really enjoy making dice. I mean, that sounds like I've been doing it for forever. Like, I haven't been doing it for very long. I was talking, like I said, I was talking with a friend the other day about, you know, just doing something for fun. I do feel like I've gotten it a little bit into like a routine, which is good, but also means that my brain is starting to get bored. I'm like, every week is the same. So it'd be good for me to have some sort of like fun thing to work on that's not just making dice. Have some I need some enrichment in my enclosure, please. Just a little bit of enrichment in my enclosure, please. To be fair, which is why, you know, doing some embroidery and stuff like this is good. I did debate making, you know, working on more commission dice tonight. And I was just kind of like, no, I need to work on something that's not resin. I'm going to work on something that's not resin. Take a little bit of a break. I've been working on resin a lot lately. This one ended up maybe a little bit more mixed, which is unfortunate, but... Alright, we're almost done here. See, there you can see, completely pulled off the silver Sharpie. This one actually turned out maybe okay as well. Again, this is another one of the experiment ones. It's the other D10. Okay. Wow, my workspace is a mess. I really need to do some cleaning. Maybe we'll work on that tomorrow. That sounds kind of nice. I do actually like cleaning. Once I get into like the rhythm of it, like before I've started, I'm just like, I don't know what I need to work on, and then I never actually work on anything. But once I actually like start cleaning something, it's nice. There's something satisfying about like being able to see your progress. At least for me. I really like being able to see where I'm at in getting something done. I feel like usually with cleaning, you kind of have that. You know, you can see as things get completed. You know, suddenly the floors look better, or you know, the bathtub doesn't have a ring around it, or is very, very immediately visible that, you know, you've completed something. I don't know, I find that really satisfying. Also, there's something nice about cleaning in that, like, you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit, depending on what it is, of course. But D4 down, you know, depending on what it is, you know, I can just zone out and work on some sort of kind of repetitive task. There's something nice about, you know, just doing a repetitive task every once in a while. Alright, let me move these off to the side. I will send a photo of these later. And let me throw these down into the appropriate boxes. Yes, that's the correct box. And this is the box of duds. So these are the ones that, you know, usually these are the ones that have like big gaps in them and stuff. Yeah, they have big voids. But I'm like, maybe I could turn some of these into jewelry or something. Yeah, most of these just have big voids. All right, back to embroidery. Back to embroidery. Don't worry, we're done with all that resin stuff now. Except apparently getting resin off of my workspace. All right. I have barely even touched my ginger beer. I do like a good ginger beer. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit more like hair in my mouth. What am I caught on? How did I end up with the knot in here? Stop that. Ugh. I am getting knots all over the place. And not my cat knot. There we go. Alright, have our thread. And I've just been doing like 2 at a time, so let me separate 2 out. Alright, there's our 2, and let me put this one back in the box so I can find it when I need it. I can just go back in here. And we're going to do some more of the French knots there with some of these beads, because I like these beads and I think that it'll add a lot, but we're going to kind of go along the edge here a little bit, kind of shift that way just a little bit. To account for where it hits, where it lines up. When I actually tie it as a bow tie. And I do think maybe we should add a little bit more to the other side too. We'll probably do a little bit more on both sides, because I just want it to, you know, like, I don't want to have to try and think about it too hard whenever I have to tie it. I'd like to be able to, you know, have it be facing either direction and look pretty good. Okay. And again, I'm going to hide this. Oh, see? Yeah, see, that's big too. I'm going to hide this in kind of the seam area here. Yeah, it's a lot of French knots. A lot of French knots. Which is not necessarily a bad thing, it's just a lot of them. It just takes a while. That did just remind me that I should look at how long I've been streaming, because I have absolutely no idea. I was like, has it been 45 minutes? Have 3 hours passed? I have no idea. What is time? It could very well have been 3 hours, and I'd be like, oh, that makes sense. It also could have been 45 minutes, and I would have been like, oh, that makes sense. I guess in this instance, though, actually, I thought it's been longer than it has. Maybe that's just because I've been talking non-stop, but I guess I usually talk non-stop for streams. I feel like that's the thing to do. Like, you know, I don't know. I feel like, you know, streams, either people put them on in the background sort of thing, in which case they're probably not. What? Turns out you are, oh, you're busier than you thought. Got a lot going on. I hope you're not still driving. You gotta leave early. You're popular. Are you headed out right now, or? Oh, come on. But yes, hopefully you're not driving right now. But yeah, if you gotta head out, you gotta head out. No worries. I did have something I wanted to show you before you left, though, if you haven't left already. But if you're on the run, I understand. Not from the law or anything. I mean, I guess I still understand, but if you've already headed out. That's kind of a little bit too in line. Let's try and move this down a little bit. Yeah. I don't know, it's just kind of a quiet night for some reason. I was saying earlier, like, I don't know, this just happens sometimes where it's like, no one's here. Which, again, is fine. It's just like, randomly though. No idea. Like, is there something else going on I don't know about? Alright, more knots. And another bead, I think. I'm just going to go all the way through. And we're going to do some stuff on the other side too, I think. Let's add some stuff here. Alright. And more. Do I add a bead there? I don't know that I want to add a bead there. We're going to do more French knots first. Kind of fill in this area just a little bit. A whole bunch of French knots over and over again. And I guess this green kind of matches here. Maybe I want to add, I might want to add some more wool like I did on this side. A little wool there. Just add some on this side as well. Because I feel like that really helps with adding a little bit of a different texture. Because that's kind of what I like. Like, I think this corner is probably my favorite because it has some of those different textures in there, some of the different beads and things. And it is part of the reason I'm adding beads right now, is because, you know, it adds to giving it a different texture. Because I feel like that's kind of what keeps things interesting a little bit. I want the moss on here to be the focus. And if it was all just the same, you know, color and texture, it would be, I don't know, it'd look really flat. And I feel like it'd be fine. But it wouldn't be interesting. It wouldn't be the focus at all. It would be, you know, part of it, but it wouldn't be all that interesting. Alright, let's add another bead. I'm trying to not go through all the layers this time. I'm gonna add some more knots on this side. I'm gonna try and kind of tie this into, you know, the other section here that has beads that's kind of right next to it. You know, I want these to look like they're the same thing. Oh, come on. Ah. I didn't have the tension right, and it got mad at me. There we go. got it all figured out. And I don't necessarily have to have it super dense here or anything to even tie it together. You know, I just kind of need something to bridge the gap a little bit. A few in between. Put this at a different angle. Try and get, you know, something in here that's kind of in between the two. Maybe I'll add something with some different texture or something to try and tie it together a little bit. Now I'm going to go all the way through again and work on the other side again. Oops, let's not go through one of the things on that side. Those might be a little bit too evenly spaced on that side. We're gonna add some more. At least one more over there that's like right next to another one, maybe, just to you know, kind of make it look like it's a little bit more random. It's kind of funny how much work it takes to make something look random. Like if you actually put things randomly, it quite often doesn't look like random. You know, if you want something to look, you know, more natural and random and that sort of stuff, it takes a bit of work. It's almost like more meticulously placing of things to make things look like they're not meticulously placed. And let's add another bead on this side. I'm going to add one that's kind of close to another one, so just so they're not all like spaced, you know, evenly apart, which is kind of what was going on here. There, you know, that looks a little bit less like everything's in a grid, which is not what I want. I don't want it to look like it's in a grid. That doesn't make sense for moss. Unless I guess you're growing moss on some sort of grid, in which case it would make sense for moss, but that's not usually how moss grows. Or maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not an expert on moss. I'm just sewing it. Embroidering it, not sewing it. Those are two different things, apparently. I googled before the stream. What is going on here? Oops. I have it all wound up all funky. So we're gonna add a little bit more. I think I might add some of a different color next. Maybe some more, you know, French knots, but maybe do some that are in like this yellow color. No, I've done some of that yellow color here. Maybe some that are in like a light green, or the yellow here with some beads. Something to do a little bit more. Or maybe I will grab, you know, some more of this sort of moss and maybe put it down in the corner here or something. Maybe right in here. That might be good. Just grab a little tiny bit. Like, I don't know, that. I'm just going to put it there. That might be kind of nice. We'll figure that out though once I run out of this dark green. And I'm going to go all the way through. And I did this on the other, you know, I've done this before, and the reason is I'm kind of tacking the sides together a little bit. And actually I want to move over a little bit more to do that, because I kind of want to hide like where I have, you know, the beginning of the thread there and stuff. We're actually gonna, I'm gonna move that way even a little bit more. And I'm going through again. Get my finger caught again. I want some sort of outlet, I think, to be very enthusiastic and weird. I think that's part of the reason I'm thinking about YouTube videos. I want to go on more rants about how I'm not a moss expert. I feel like that's fun. This sort of long form thing, which streaming, you know, long form thing, is a lot more laid back, I feel like, which is nice. Like, I enjoy streaming. I like it. It's just like hanging out. It's just like chilling. But I do think it'd be fun to do something. I need some sort of outlet for being weird. It's been too long. It's been too long since I've been super energetic about and gotten to go on strange rants. Like, I miss it. I miss strange rants. Alright, I'm gonna go to the middle because I'm getting to the point where I can't really sew too much. So we're gonna go to the middle here. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm going to tie this off. And then if it's in the middle, like in the seam there, I won't be able to see it. I'm probably wasting a bunch of thread. I'm sure people who sew a whole bunch are just like, no, you can get so much more. But I don't know how to sew. So we're just gonna call it there and tie it off. I don't know how late I want to go tonight, because that's a lot closer to the surface than I was thinking. Yeah, I don't know how late I'm gonna go tonight. I've done some fairly long streams doing this, but I don't know. I might call it fairly early. I think 3 hours is probably my limit. We might call it at like 2.5 maybe. It's been an hour and 45 minutes, so another 45 minutes at least, you know. Well, anywhere from I think 2.5 to 3 hours is good. I feel like that's a good length of stream. Plus it's very quiet tonight. Very quiet night. I mean, apart from me, because I can't shut up, but it's a quiet night. Alright, I think we should do some of a lighter color. I'm thinking maybe like a light green. I have like a yellow here that I did with some light green beads. Let's maybe see if we can find those light green beads. And is this one? And I'm going to see which needle is thinner. The other one I have might be a little bit thinner. But let me find that yellow color too. I think it's this. Is it this one? Might be this one. And then let me put these beads away and we'll see if I can find those light green seed beads. Alright. I have to figure out which container. I think that's these ones. I have my stacks of things here. Set that there for now. Set this over here for now. I'm pretty sure it's these green beads right here. And then I want to see if one of these needles is thinner than the other. Because I think it might be. This one might be thinner. Yeah, it definitely passes through there. Let me see if it passes through this needle. Passes through both. Is there one that's a little bit smaller? Because I'd like it if I could, you know. Yeah, this one looks like a fairly small. Oh, that one's, yeah, this one's a little bit too small. But it does fit around that one. Let me see. Yeah. So this one's a little bit smaller, so we're going to go with this, or a little bit, yeah, that one's a little bit smaller, so we're going to go with that one. That one will probably be able to sew on more beads. I don't want to accidentally spill those all over the floor again. But we'll set that off to the side there because I do need access to those. And we're gonna kind of copy some, you know, it's kind of some very messy French knots and then a bunch of those little green beads. Oh, it's not very long. Ah, I've got it caught on my buttons. Oh, the buttons on this jacket are weird. Look, the buttons on this jacket are like stacked. Isn't that weird? Interesting detail. I didn't notice that before. What a strange detail for a jacket. Just a second, I gotta separate this out. Yeah, this is rather short, so we'll see how much. I mean, I guess I have 3 things, but we'll see how far this gets us. Probably not super far, but that's okay. I don't actually need a ton. I want some different textures, some different colors and textures. I guess this won't add a ton of different texture. Oh wow, that's really not all that long at all. Well, we'll go as far as we can. I'm going to tuck this into the seam like the others. I'm going to do some French knots. And I feel like this one's kind of dense, the most part over here. So we're going to kind of do some fairly dense French knots. But also, I'm going to add some beads. That's the main thing here. So I want some different beads. I want some different textures. So I got these little tiny green seed beads. You can kind of see it on there. I'm gonna add those as well. If anybody has, you know, ideas for something else, like maybe some sort of contrasting color or something else that I could add besides just, I mean, I don't know, some sort of different texture I could use in here. I am just using textiles, and I say that I'm not gonna sew on actual moss to this thing. Like I said, I don't expect this to be the sturdiest thing imaginable, but I feel like that would be very brittle. You know, I want things that can hold up to a little bit of wear and tear, just because I'm not a gentle person by any means. But like, I don't know, is there something else I could do? Some other technique or something I should employ? You know, I don't know, some sort of weaving of threads or something, some other stitch pattern maybe that I should use. I'm open to suggestions. Just gonna grab a few of these. Because as I've stated, I'm not an embroidery expert by any means. You know, if there's some cool stitch that would look all mossy, I'd love to hear about it. Alright. Just adding some more French knots. And then I think we'll add another bead. Oops, this one's a little bit small. It's very, very close, the size of the needle and the size of the beads here. Some of them are just a little bit, the beads are a little bit too big. All right, let's put that there. And then we're going to stitch this up. I'm kind of trying to make it so that the seam is a little bit more kind of sewn together, a little bit more jointed. And actually, I want some messy loops like that too, just so it matches down here, so that works out well. Oh, that one's definitely too small. Alright, let me... And so I think we'll probably do at least one more of this color. Yeah, for sure we'll do at least one more of this color. Because I want this to be, you know, a little bit denser. I have a few more. I don't want it to look out of place because it's so small, if that makes sense. I want it to look like it's actually a clump of different colored moss and not just a mistake. You know, if you only have like, if it's very, very small, it can look out of place. I guess I shouldn't have that issue. Just because, you know, I have some of this in the other corner. So it shouldn't look like a mistake, but, oh man. I guess we're going to add another bead because I can't quite get my thing to work. I'm just going to add a whole bunch of beads here, and then we'll go back and do a whole bunch of French knots. I think that's probably going to be easier anyways. Just do all this. Oh, I totally just stabbed myself a little bit, and that was a weird feeling. Did not like that. But yeah, I'm gonna add these now since I have enough thread to do that. But it's a little bit difficult to do French knots at the moment. And then we can go back and add French knots, which works out. And it doesn't really matter which thread it is. It's going to be the same color and everything. So. Alright, let's get one more on the edge here, and then I think I'll probably tie this off. And I'm going to do the same thing I did before. Oops, yeah, this is definitely the end here. I'm going to put it in the seam here so it's just a little bit hidden. And we're going to cut this and just tie the two ends together because that just makes it easy. I saw some really cool, so I don't really do a lot of embroidery, but I do enjoy seeing other people's art, even if it's, you know, in a medium that I have no idea how to do. And I saw some really cool embroidery where it had the picture on both sides of, you know, the fabric that they sewed onto. And I'm just like, how? Where did all of your knots and everything go? How did you do that? Because if you ever usually look at like the back of a piece of embroidery, like it's a mess. Like you look at the front and it's beautiful, and then you look at the back and it's like everything's tied off back there and all that sort of stuff. But I was just like, how did they do this? Everything's so even and everything. Alright, there's that. And we're going to do some more in that color. A little bit more in this color. Yeah, I think 2.5 hours seems good. Not a super long stream or anything, but so we'll probably end, you know, a little bit more than half an hour, which is still plenty of time, but just so you have a heads up. Also, that's me deciding because I could keep working on this like till it's done, but that'd be, you know, days down the line, which probably isn't a good idea. Got other stuff I need to do. Alright. And I kind of want this one to be a little bit messy, so I might leave this knot on the outside, actually. Actually, let's see here. It looks a little bit barren on this side. There's not enough knots and stuff, so I'm just gonna do this here. Alright. I'm gonna do some French knots. There's a lot of stuff here now, so this is getting very difficult to sew through. Alright, we'll do another knot here, and then I think I want to kind of start going down a little bit, because it's kind of all like in a group at the moment, and it kind of like, so it kind of looks like it's separated from everything else. So I kind of want to put, you know, some knots and stuff a little bit further out to kind of fade it into the other things. Oops, but not quite like that. Like I said, it's getting a little difficult to sew through this area. Alright. Let's see if we can add a bead. Yeah, we'll add a bead. That'll be good. And some more knots. I just don't want it to look like it's a separate thing. I want it to look like it's kind of fading into the other colors. I said that already, but like, oh, here, let me show you. So like, I kind of had it so that it was just kind of like a lump by itself, but I'm adding, you know, a bead and a few knots and stuff kind of off on their own. And so from like a distance and stuff, it kind of ombres it a little bit. That's kind of the idea anyways. I'm going to put some of this right up next to like the darker green here, so that, you know, it doesn't look like it's separate from the darker green. I want it to look like a cohesive piece. That's the point here. All right. And I'm going to go through. I'm going to do some stuff on the other side here too, because the other side here is also looking like it's kind of all one piece. So let's start adding some things by themselves. Not by themselves, but, you know, a little bit further out. Alright, so there's that. Let's grab a few more beads here. This looks actually a little bit more dense. Yeah, it's fairly dense. Well, I'm gonna do as many like French knots as I can, I think, and then once it gets too, you know, just slightly too short for me to do French knots, I'll add some beads, because I'll still have a little bit of length to do beads. They don't require me to like twist everything up like French knots do. So you gotta be able to navigate here and wrap things around. It's easier said than done when it's getting shorter. Alrighty. And we'll add another bead down here. Surprise, you actually still live here? Well, hello. How are you? I was like, this works out. You're tired. Oh man. If you need to head out, feel free to head out. I did want to show you this. feel like you'll appreciate this. I did finally set up a Discord. There's like nothing on it at the moment. I literally set it up like right before the stream. So don't be you know, be too surprised because it's very empty. But I did set up a Discord. I guess this means I'm gonna have to use Discord more now. Now you live here. That works. I also, if you have any ideas for like more channels and stuff to put there or things to change, also could you check and see if you can post in either the rules channel or the announcements channel? I tried to set it up so that no one could except for me, but I don't know if I did it right. I'm making you do work, sorry. You don't have to do that right now. Yay! Excellent. I went through and looked at, I don't have anything like in there at the moment, but I did want to set it up so that, you know, that was just I could post in there. Yeah, they're fairly empty. All right, so I think let's do the last little bit here. But no, having a Discord will be good. It'll be a good like kind of place to get feedback and also let people know plans and things. Because I was thinking about it at one point, and I was like, if I ever take a break from like streaming, like I go on vacation or something, which isn't happening right now, obviously, but if I ever am like gone for a week or something, I don't know, letting people know might be kind of, I guess I'd let people know on the stream like the week before and all that sort of stuff, but just having somewhere that I could be like, okay guys, announcement, I'll be gone. No, I have not. You're still yelling about the size you hadn't considered. Yeah, I wonder if we can get them in a smaller size, but the ones that I saw on like Etsy, it was just like they were probably like that big, which is just a little bit too big for dice. I haven't done too much looking into other wings. I've been so busy. But that is, if only you could get a pound of moths. Have you looked on Etsy? Have you looked up like moth wings? You can get like a batch of like 50 miscellaneous butterfly and moth wings. That's a thing. Like I said, I was looking on there the other day. I haven't made any progress on finding a replacement. I did a little bit of looking. I know they're big. That's the thing. Like I said, I did a little bit of looking, but I haven't done enough to actually find a replacement. But yes, just like a lot of butterfly wings. I'm like, I have no use for these, but I'm so tempted. Like they wouldn't fit in any of my resin projects, but they're so pretty. I really like the pressed butterflies and stuff. I have a cicada, like a mounted cicada on my wall upstairs in the library. Like, I don't know, stuff like that's so cool. And they are so pretty. See, that's the thing. Here, let me show you. I think I've shown this before. But I have this that I want to put in resin at some point. And I'm not sure. Let's not smush it at all. Oh, gosh. I have this that I want to put in resin at some point. But I'm going to have to figure out how, because it's rather big. I need to figure out what I'm going to put it in. It's also rather 3D, which is part of the issue. Yeah. Oh, the eye is eaten away a little bit. That's okay though. Yeah, this is I guess my family knows me too well, because my parents like scooped this out of a friend's swimming pool and saved it for me. Like, my mom showed up at my house and was just like, "Here, we got this for you." I'm like, that is so like bizarre, but also I love it. Like, that is absolutely something that I want. All right, let me set this back down. I just gotta figure out what to do with it now. I guess maybe I could like mount it, not in resin, just like put in like a shadow box type thing. That'd probably be really cool in like a shadow box. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do that. Let's add some more. Yeah, I'd be if moth wings. If only you could be smaller. Like I have. Let me show you the moth that I have. I do have a moth, but it's just not exciting. Like, just a second here. Get this needle through, and then I'll show you. Like, I do have like a moth over here. Let me close this so I don't spill beads everywhere. In my box of flowers and bugs. I'll show you the moth that I have. Oh wait, I have two moths. Oh, this one actually, the wings aren't bad on this one. I'll show you the two moths that I have. I only have two moths. Alright, let me flip this guy over. This guy's upside down. Oops, come on. I don't want to injure this thing. Not injure, it's already dead. But like, see, I do have, you know, two moths. This one's actually looks really good. That one's very well, like, one stayed really intact. And like, you know, there's those wings there. And those probably would be small enough to fit in like a D20. See, like, this guy'd probably fit in a D20. But, I mean, these are the only moths that I have. Let me put these away. I guess maybe if I found out what kind of moth this is, because like these wings, not these ones, this one's rather brown. Let's put this one away. It is a cool moth though. Yeah, I have a bunch of bugs here. I have, let's see, I have a dead spider, a couple of dead grasshoppers. I do have some dragonfly wings, but I don't think that those are what you're looking for. Let me put this one away. I'll show you though. I do have just dragonfly wings too, but that's not brightly colored and fun. I do also have a smaller dragonfly in here, smaller than the other one. Yeah, I have a dead fly, a couple spiders, roly-poly. Yeah, I need to, maybe I can find out what kind of moth that is, because it does have the orange on the one side, but I don't know. I guess I didn't, yeah. Maybe I'll need to do some Googling instead of some Etsy searching. I was looking on Etsy, but there might be some stuff that's like on Google. I can find some smaller moth wings for sale. I don't have my planner down here with me. I'd add that to my to-do list for probably Tuesday. I'll probably, it just gotta be a moth and fit. Oh, any will do. I'll see if I can find some smaller moths or moth wings. What I was saying though is I'll probably work on that on Tuesday. Tuesday's kind of my admin day. So that's the day where I'm usually at my computer doing stuff. Scheduling, ordering things, responding to messages. So I'll do some looking around on probably Tuesday and see what I can find. If you find anything too, you know, let me know. Also, if I don't get back to you, yell at me. Because that's the kind of thing that, since I don't have an answer immediately, I will try to put off, and I really should not, since, you know, that's bad. I'm very bad at that. Yeah. Communication is something that I have to, like, work at. And also, you know, getting things done. This is why a friend and I have weekly check-ins. It's because we're both very ADHD. And we don't get things done otherwise. These dice in hands by April 17th. Oh, okay. No, I should get things to you as quickly as I can. I just need to actually sit down and do a whole bunch of searching. That's looking a little bit more dense, which is good. I don't know, I think I want to add a little bit more of that green, maybe over here. And maybe make this a little bit more dense on this side. And then the bow tie is going to be pretty good, I think. It's looking pretty good over here. Let me just... Okay. Oh, that's true. That'll make it easy to message you about things on Discord. I'm bad at using Discord, so this will probably be an excuse for me to use Discord more. Now that I have to actually, you know, keep up to date on things. Like I do like Discord. It's just I feel like things move so fast on Discord. I'm so likely to miss things. But now I'm like basically moderating one, so gotta keep on track. But yeah, if you have ideas for more channels and stuff on there, like I said, I don't really use Discord a lot, so you know, if people have ideas, I am open to ideas. Yeah, that seems like a reasonable amount. Get my thread. All right. So I think maybe we'll do a little bit more green and then try it again, and we might be good. Because I do want it to be, you know, kind of uneven. I just want it to, you know, be balanced. That's kind of the main thing. I do worry that these are maybe not connected enough, but it might be okay. Might be kind of nice to have it be a little bit different. Not sure yet. Not sure yet. I have enough left here that I can... There we go. Oops, that was weird. That didn't really work. Why was I not doing it like that before? That's weird of me. I don't know why I wasn't just looping it like this. That's so much better. Oh, I guess maybe because it's not working right. Why is it not working right? What am I doing here? What am I doing wrong? Why are my... everything suddenly not turning into knots? What have I done? What have I done? Why are my French knots not knotting? That's okay. That's okay. Let me go through the... There we go. Go through here. And I think I'm gonna just tie this off. Call it good. And then let's figure out a little bit more of the kind of light green moss, I think, and then that might be good. I think that might be good for the night. But I do think that we need a little bit more of the felt. A little bit more of the felt on this side. And done with these. Put everything here. And we're gonna do, oh, what, and could do a different color of moss too. That's an idea. Put this away. That is an idea. Let me see what I got here. Maybe I'll do that. So I have you know, light green moss here and here, but I do also have I did like a dark green with a little bit of orange in it here. Maybe I should do that kind of down in this corner-ish. That was kind of my thought. Kind of do a little bit like kind of right in here. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do like a dark green. I think I did. Let's do that. Let's do something a little bit, you know, not just this. Well, let's do something a little bit different. Pull out all my wool here. You can see this is because Fitz was trying to get to the wool. He really likes wool. He straight up tore through this bag and pulled out some of these. That's why some of these are a little bit messy. I kind of put them back together, but yeah, he's a troublemaker. So how much do we want? Probably not something too, just kind of like that maybe. I could go down a little bit, kind of like there, maybe kind of right in there. I think that'll kind of tie things together a little bit, but we're gonna need a little bit more. Maybe it's a little bit thicker. Maybe not that thick. And then I think a little bit, I had some other greens in here too. I think I had a little bit of this one, just a little bit. And then a little bit of this one. Very, very little. Very, very little. Okay. So what we're gonna do is put these together in order. I'm pulling back out the felting tools. So I have a needle here that has barbs on the side. A very, very sharp needle that has barbs on the side. I'm going to put that into this. So there we have our felting needle. Oops. And then I'm going to protect my fingers a little bit because I don't trust myself not to stab myself. And we're going to just kind of stab this a whole bunch of times. And it's going to kind of push all of the fibers together a bit. That's kind of the idea anyways. We want all these fibers to start attaching to each other. Flip that over. I haven't gotten very far yet, and that's fine. It is, you know, at least kind of one piece now, which is what I was going for. I have some of this other green. I probably don't even need much. I just want a little bit to try and add some different color in there. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Just a little bit of kind of a lighter, not quite as lush, not quite as verdant. Just a little bit more, I guess, mossy. It's kind of a more neutral tone green. And then I have a little bit here of an orange. And that will hopefully pop a little bit against the green. Something I've noticed, just, you know, doing painting and stuff, is that if you quite often, if you add a little bit of like a complementary color, orange isn't complementary to green, but it stands out from green. You know, it's close to being on the opposite side of the color wheel. But if you add like a little bit of a complementary color to like, or some sort of opposing color, if you add just a little bit of it to something that is a color, it quite often makes that color have more, just seem more real. One of the things that first made me realize this was that I was doing like a collage, I was painting like a collage for painting class years ago. Well, that's kind of what I did with the crow over here. That's how I ended up, this is how this crow ended up rainbow. That's how this crow ended up rainbow, was that originally, you know, I was going to do the crow in all greens and blues, and maybe some purple. And so I was thinking back to a painting class that I did where we were doing en plein air drawings, where you prime the canvas by putting the complementary colors of what you're going to be painting onto it in a very, very thin wash, and then you paint over those with the colors of the objects, basically. It's going from darkest to lightest, and that, I was like, let's try that. And that's how it kind of ended up rainbow, because it ended up with the complementary colors kind of showing through to be the bright parts. But what originally made me kind of, you know, realize it, think about it, is I was doing a painting for an art class years ago, and it was, we had made like collages out of like things from magazines, just random images from magazines, and one of the things in my collage was just these images, like these pictures of artichokes. There was just these artichokes randomly in my image. It's a very weird painting. There's certain things I'm proud of about that painting. I'll talk about it in a second. And with those, for kind of the areas that were a little bit not, you know, maybe going a little bit brown or a little bit kind of off color, instead of doing like a brown or something, I did an orange. And I'm like, this looks really good. I don't know if anyone ever, I see you saying that, yeah, you saw an art tip about that. I don't know if anyone ever really pointed it out to me before. It's possible someone did and I just don't remember the whole complementary color thing using them. But I was just like, oh, wow. And that's something that I've noticed in like other people's artwork too, is how like people are I noticed when someone used like colors that weren't like the expected color of something. I was always just like, that's so good, and I'm so bad at it, and I feel like I've gotten better at it now, but just like when people use blank space really well. I was talking about this the other day with my family. I was saying that like in any sort of art, it's enhanced by a good use of negative space. And I feel like that holds true for pretty much any kind of art. Like, that's how you make jokes land at the right time. You know, that, you know, when you have music and it has like a pause at a certain point and then it comes in with the next part. Like, and in like watercolors, that's part of the reason I'm bad at watercolors, is because a big part of watercolors is knowing where not to paint. like you know, I'm very bad at using negative space, but it's just so, it really enhances artwork. But in the same way, I guess using colors is, you know, super important as well. But that painting with the artichokes, it's a very weird painting. It's not necessarily great. But there were certain things, that painting, we made our own canvases. So like we took, you know, the wood, and we made our own frames in the sizes that we wanted, and we stretched the canvas over it, and we primed the canvas and everything, which was fun. It was cool. That was just a cool project, making our own canvases. But one of the things, I love doing multimedia stuff, and that's the plan for that crow. That crow's not going to be just a painting. I have plans to make that a sculptural piece. And the painting with the artichokes, one of the things in my collage was a clock. And so I painted the clock, but I did not paint the hands of the clock. Instead, I cut a hole in the canvas, and I attached like a clock thing to it, so that it had an actual clock in the painting. So like I painted the clock part, the face and everything, but it was a working clock. I love doing stuff like that. I don't know, that's I love doing stuff like that. I have a whole series. Oh man, I guess I could pull these out. We're talking art now. Maybe I'll pull these down. I have a series of paintings here, and literally, basically, like they have a theme and everything, but don't need to get into that. The kind of thing that I was testing out with them was manipulating the canvas in various ways. So it wasn't necessarily about painting. It was more about what can I do with the space of the canvas. Like what are all the options available to me? Wait a second here. I'll put some stuff away. And we'll attach this. We might end up going to about 3 hours with this 2.5, which is fine. I did say anywhere between 2.5 and 3. But let me show you. Let me grab those. I see them up here. They're right off to my side. I do think I'm going to have to crawl on top of this table, though. Alright, give me just a moment. Hopefully I don't fall and die. That would be really bad on stream. I mean, it'd be bad in general, but it'd be worse on the stream. Alright, just a second here. Alright. So this whole series of paintings, they're all like 1x1 canvases. This whole series of paintings, like I said, was kind of they don't necessarily look the best, but it was really more about trying to find out what I could do with the canvases. So like, you know, here's one where, you know, crushed the canvas. Oh, that's a blank canvas. Here's one where I cut a slit in the canvas and had paint kind of pouring out. I kind of want to do this again, but with like colors that pop more, just because I feel like that's kind of a cool idea. Like I like doing stuff like this where I manipulate the canvas in some way. Yeah, I definitely want to do this again, but maybe with like just a plain black background and then some sort of like neon colors or something spilling out. Like that'd be cool. Like canvas. This one, that's kind of hard to see now, but I had drips off the end. They've been sitting up there, so they are not actually dripping down anymore. But you know, I was like drips hanging down. Here's one where I kind of cut a hole out of the center. I didn't quite. I do like this one. I do like this one where I just have a hole punched through it. Like, I was just having fun doing weird stuff. I painted on the back of the canvas. Didn't even paint anything on this side. I painted on that side. This one I was just trying out a different paint. This one was like a crackly medium. And then this one, I tried sewing through the canvas. Like, this is the kind of stuff that I like doing. I don't know, I guess I don't think of myself as, I don't know. I should do more weird stuff with painting. Do more abstract stuff. I like doing abstract painting stuff, it's fun. But, and actually the abstract painting that I did for class, I did a little bit of multimedia sort of stuff too, because I actually incorporated string into that, now that I think about it. But no, this is the, I also like stuff that's like, has like texture to it, like tactile, that's the word I'm looking for. I like things that are kind of tactile. But yeah, this was just kind of a experiment. I do still like this one. This one's so simple, but I do still like this one that just has a hole punched through it. I see this one's tactile too. This one I have really, really thick paint on the sides. I have a painting. This would be easier to do with oils, actually. This is all acrylic. But I have a painting that's, I think it's still at my parents' house, it's pretty much all one color for the most part, but I just did really, really like thick paint, and the whole point was that whenever I'd walk down the hallway at the house, I could just run my hand on it, because I'm like, this feels nice. I always want to touch paintings. I love paintings that have so much impasto, which is that really, really thick application of paint. But I just want to touch them all, which is probably a bad idea. It would make people very angry. But I want it just looks so satisfying. I'm like, I want to touch it. I'm that person that walks through like Target though and has to touch all the towels. I'm a very tactile person, I guess. Let me figure out how to get these back up. Just a moment. Alright, let's put this last little bit on. I think I was saying kind of in here. No, it kind of matches the colors in this actually. I think kind of right in there maybe. I think that might be a good spot. I need to get my thread back out. We're just gonna tack this down. I'll probably let's just do that with the, don't want to do that with the dark green here. Yeah, this dark green matches, so we'll do it with this dark green. I like art stuff. I had a friend text me yesterday asking me about they were trying to figure out how to integrate velocity over time for, I assume, for a work project of theirs. And I'm like, I don't remember math. I have a math degree. Oh, why did I just not that? That's weird. I don't know why I did that. But I have a math degree. But I'm just like, I don't remember. I could probably figure it out, but I don't remember at all. And I was thinking about it, and I'm like, I do remember art stuff. Like, I guess to be fair, I'm doing art stuff. Like, if I was using, like, the math every day, if I was doing, you know, figuring out fluid mechanics stuff every day, you know, I'd remember the math for it, because I'd be using it. And I'm not, although don't ask me to do differential equations. I still don't understand differential equations. My final math project was all, like, differential equations. I still don't understand differential equations. It has to do with doing, like, integration of things with multiple variables. But, that are all dependent on each other. It gets confusing. But, what was I saying? Oh, I do remember, like, art stuff. Like, I guess to be fair, that's what I'm most passionate about. So it makes sense that, you know, that's what I would remember. But at the same time, it does, I guess it kind of, it tells where my true loyalties lie. So I mean, that's what I remember. Is, I'm like, ah, yes, I remember, impasto. That's, when you have a thick application of paint. And, like, I guess it really does come down to, you kind of will remember what you need for what you do every day. Because, you know, that it reminds me of how I was saying before, I can usually, I can look at, like, factory made dice now and tell you how they were made. And I mean that in the sense of, to be fair, most of them are sprue dice. Some of them are cap, but you know, I can tell you where the sprue was. I can tell you whether it was a sprue or a cap mold. That sort of stuff. It's like, I'm doing this stuff every day, and at this point, you know, I know what I'm doing. Well, I wouldn't go that far, maybe, but maybe I wouldn't go that far. But, you know, you remember what you use. And I think that placement's pretty good. And also, I mean, I've said this before too. I tend to get fixated on, like, media. There's, you know, and that how long I'm fixated on the piece of media varies. It could be, you know, a week. It could be 2 years. It varies. But the thing that I've always loved is the arts. I've always loved the arts. Always loved making things. I've always loved doing theater. I've always, you know, singing. Not really dancing, which is mostly because I can't remember the steps of things. So, like, choreographed dances, that's my problem with theater too, actually. I actually prefer doing film stuff simply because I don't have to memorize lines nearly as much. Like, I'm not good at memorizing lines. So let me get this corner tacked down. I was thinking about it more though, because I was like, what sort of direction do I want to go? And if I do want to kind of, you know, try and stick with the arts as a career, do I want to try and go more towards maybe theater of some sort? And I'm like, I was thinking about it. I'm like, no, I don't think so. I mean, maybe in the sense of, like, making YouTube videos or something. Like, you know, there's a certain amount of acting, I guess, that comes with that. Even if I'm being myself, there's still a certain amount of acting that comes with being on camera to a certain extent. Just because, you know, there's a certain amount of you know, entertainment that you're trying to, you know, create. Like, I don't talk this much in my everyday life. I mean, it depends on where I am, I suppose. But, you know, in this case, for, like, streaming and stuff, I am talking a lot because I'm streaming, and I feel like I am partially here to entertain people. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't, you know, talk a whole bunch in my everyday life, because I definitely talk a whole bunch in my everyday life, but, you know, it's still different. I'm still, you know, acting a certain way because I am streaming. And it'd be the same with YouTube videos and stuff. But I don't think I want to, you know, go the path of acting. I don't think I'm good enough at it. And I guess that's something that I could work at. But it is kind of one of those things where it's just like, I don't know if I'd ever be good enough at this to do it professionally. And so it's just like, it can stay a hobby. That is fine. You know, maybe I'll go out and do some local theater and stuff. Go do some more local commercials after I can get out of the house and stuff. Cause that's fun. I did like a local commercial that involved me just riding around on my bike a whole bunch and pointing at statues and being like, "That's my favorite." Not quite in that voice, but you know, stuff like that is fun. I really enjoy doing stuff like that. Oh, come on. I have a big knot here. Just a moment here. Ooh. Oh, got something in my throat. I can't quite remember where I was going with this. That's the other thing about streaming, I suppose, is that my brain shuts off a little bit. I was watching a stream earlier. I was watching a stream this morning from like a fairly like popular streamer. Oh, come on. I'm trying to get this to the right spot. It doesn't want to. It doesn't want to go to the right spot. Just a moment here. And that was kind of something that he was saying, to a certain extent, was just like his brain does not work while streaming, or something like that. And I'm just like, I understand, because this is very stream of consciousness. I'm not really focused on what I'm saying. While I'm saying it. Come on. Just a second, I've got a knot here. Because I'm kind of focused on what I'm working on to a certain extent. So I really don't remember where I was going with that at all. My attention is divided between sewing and whatever it was that I was saying. But it's also just not. Just a moment here. I have a knot in a bad spot. I guess career paths is kind of what I was talking about. I am enjoying, making dice and all that. But no, that's what it was. I'm trying to figure out what I can make a living doing. Although, to be fair, the dice thing is working out. I just need to figure out how to create enough, I guess, to make it sustainable. Or figure out some sort of secondary income. That's my current dilemma. My monthly existential career crisis. Oh man, this thing is tied up in a knot. And that's just kind of the nature of the game to a certain extent. Especially since, I'm kind of just starting out. I've been doing this. I mean, I guess I've started having some moderate success in my Etsy shop for maybe like 6 months or so. Wait. Yeah. About 6 months or so. I've kind of gotten my rhythm down maybe for maybe 4 months or so. Oh gosh, this knot does not want to come undone. I guess maybe that's why it's called a knot. Okay, I think I've got kind of an idea now of where I'm at. Just a moment here. But I guess figuring out where I want to go from here, that's always kind of the question, I suppose. Where do I want to go from here? I do think that's the question that maybe everybody has to a certain extent. What do I want to do when I grow up? Like, I mean, I guess as like my dad put it, when you find out, let me know. because, you know, he's like, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. Okay, we're just gonna hide this loop, because I can't get it to... Can't get it to lie flat. We're just gonna hide it. We're gonna pull it under. And then I think I might be able to hide this here. I'm gonna tie this off. I'll put this away. And we'll try this bow tie. See how it looks. I am happy to have found something that I do really enjoy doing. I need to get better at it still. I mean, there's always room for improvement. I mean, at this point, it's more of a, I feel like, I mean, there's always room for improvement with the craft itself, but also, in my case, you know, there's room for improvement with just the scheduling and the what's the word I'm looking for? Efficiency. That's the word I'm looking for. I could probably be a lot more efficient in what I'm doing. And just figuring that out as well. Figuring out how to, you know, keep making things better and better. Alright, let me put this off to the side and let's see how this looks. Let me take my jacket off again. It's a little constricting. And I'm trying to put my bow tie on. But let's see how this looks with the moss on it. And actually, I don't know if it'll matter which side it ends up out, but we'll see. Oh, here. I'm just gonna go back to me while I tie a bow tie. My biggest concern, I guess, with the felt and stuff is that it's kind of on where there's a crease. It's kind of where there's like a I guess crease works. It's where it's doubled up. So I worry this gonna be a little bit too thick. But we'll see if we can make this work. And this fabric's just kind of thick too. So I'll make sure that this is fairly even. You know, that might actually be good. I guess I could have gone even a little bit further this direction with the bow, with the moss. I might add a little bit more moss. Oh, right in here. Go even a little bit further out, but honestly, I feel like this is almost done. I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think? Does that look like it's almost mossified? Maybe I could add a little bit more. Add a little bit more moss. I do think that, like I said, adding some more along the edge here would be good. Maybe kind of tie this in a little bit more so it doesn't kind of look like it's on its own. So maybe just, you know, kind of add a little bit more kind of right in here. But otherwise, I think that that's looking pretty good. I don't know, is it recognized? Does it look like moss? So maybe need a little bit more, maybe some more color variation. Maybe a little bit more orange or yellow in there or something. I don't know. I think it's coming along though. Oh, cool. I think that's probably it for tonight. I think we're getting pretty close to done with this bow tie, which is exciting. And then we'll move on to the vest, the waistcoat, which is going to be, you know, a lot more work. But cool. I'm glad that we got as far as we did. It's starting to look really good, I think. I mean, you know, I think it's starting to come along. Anyways, thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I do stream every Wednesday and Saturday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we'll be back to resin stuff on Wednesday, which is what we normally do. But that is it. So thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you guys hopefully on Wednesday. All right, bye.